Hi, and welcome back to the Morristown Market Report. I'm Amy Schrader with Remax Real Estate 10. I am flying solo today because Kim Swan had a family appointment that she had to go to. So, our guest today is Jeff Spencer. He is the secretary on the board of directors at the Theater Guild here in Morristown. Welcome. We're excited to have you here with us today.
Thank you, Amy. It's a pleasure to be with you. I appreciate the opportunity.
Good deal. All right, so tell us a little bit about the history of the Theater Guild. Like, when did it get started? What was its purpose?
The Theater Guild was actually founded in 1934.
Oh, wow.
So we're in our 89th year currently, making a lot of plans for next season, our 90th, a landmark there. The Guild has been a big part of the community for all of those 90 years. Obviously, I haven't been around for all of those. My involvement.
I guess nobody has.
Nope. My involvement dates back just about 5 years. I started with the Guild in 2017, so I've had the privilege and opportunity to learn from a lot of the folks that have been there, prior to me. Right now, the Guild is, in essence, without a home, so to speak. One of our initiatives that we've been working on for a number of years is to either rebuild at the previous Hill Street location or to find a permanent home so that we can have our own physical facility and stage and all those things. But in years past and in the beginning, the Guild was also somewhat, we use the term, a vagabond theater group. So they would actually go in the early years and perform plays in people's homes. So what we do now when we go to set up for a show in Rose Center, for instance, where all of our shows are this season, it's not unheard of. It's for theater to do that because we want to do whatever we need to advance the arts, advance our mission, and try to enrich our community with the shows that the Theater Guild puts on.
Okay. All right. So, what kind of events do you have coming up? What kind of shows do you have?
Well, we had 4 plays in 2023 season. One of those has already concluded. That was the last roundup of the Guacamole Queens,
Okay.
which was a comedy. You probably would have guessed that. The third installment in a trilogy that the Theater Guild has done over the years. Many of the people that were in those earlier installments reprised their roles for the finale. The next show that is coming up is called God of Carnage.
Okay.
And that, again, Rose Center, that will be playing in June. I am remiss not having the show dates in front of me, but the Theater Guild Facebook page has those available. Mid-June, I believe the 16th is the opening night, that Friday, and then it will play that weekend and the next weekend. A little synopsis, I don't like spoilers, but a little bit on God of Carnage.
If you will.
Essentially, you have a situation where a couple of young boys, 10, 11 years old, have gotten into a schoolyard altercation. They've had a fight. And the parents have arranged a dinner to discuss the matter like civilized adults. That didn't go too well. And various things ensue after that as they, end up probably being less mature than the children by the time it's over with. So
That's usually what happens, isn't it?
Yes, it certainly can. And it's a very funny show. It's a 4-person cast. We have a new director, Brittany Brooks will be directing that show. We have a couple of new directors on the slate this year, so we're really proud about that, trying to bring newer folks, younger people, and get them involved with our programs and be sure that we've got a bright future moving ahead.
Okay.
The next show after that will be in the last weekend in September, the first weekend in October, and that's Dial M for Murder.
I have heard of that.
Frederick Knott play made even more famous by having been adapted into a film by Alfred Hitchcock. It will probably not be made any more famous this year being directed by me, but I will do the best that I can. I'm excited to be directing my second show for the Guild. I did my first one last year, The Rainmaker, and that went went very, very well. It was a great experience, and so I'm excited to direct another show. Then in late November, the Christmas show, if you will, the holiday show, is called Greetings, and that will be another new director, James Bernowski. He's a new board member as well. Both he and Brittany are like mid-20s age range, so again some new blood into the organization, so that can only be good for us moving forward to try to get more people involved and newer faces is something we're always looking for.
Okay. So how do you all pick what you're going to do? Like, does the board vote on it, or?
We have a play selection committee that is already well underway for next season, which is our 90th season. And that group it always starts with a very long list of options, typically generated by the committee members. I like this, 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 and this. And then the next person, these are mine, these are mine, these are mine. And they all go into one group, and it's like, here's why we can't do that, here's why we can't do that, that sort of thing. But ultimately, everybody will come together, and you try to find things that are, that will be entertaining, that the community will enjoy. We also try to innovate and have new things, maybe push the envelope of what we've done in the past to try to not be, you don't want to be the same shows again and again.
Right.
Last year we put on the Play That Goes Wrong, and I don't know if you're familiar with that at all. If you're not, you should look into it. It's a super funny. It's a British troupe. They have a television show, also the Goes Wrong show, and there's Peter Pan Goes Wrong is currently on Broadway. But anyway, this is the original, the Play That Goes Wrong, and it's very much what the name implies, things that are, the gags are set up to intentionally go wrong, but the cast behaves as though that's, not supposed to happen, and the various, comedic elements that come from that. But it was a massive undertaking. There are a lot of moving parts to the set, a lot of things that are, like I said, they're supposed to fail. There's things that are supposed to fall down. Things are supposed to happen that look to be mistakes, but really aren't, and that takes a lot of technical input from the background. And one of our longtime members and creative advisor, David Horton, directed that show, and we had he and the cast and all of us had a lot of challenges to put it on, but we ultimately did, and it was a very rewarding experience for us, and the audiences seemed to love it. So we're very pleased that we're able to have that achievement under our belt, and that's the sort of things that we do. We will take on challenges and try to really give the community our best.
Good deal. So how do you get, I guess, your cast members and the backstage people, the technical people, the lighting people? Are those all volunteers?
Yes, it's all volunteer. We have, whoever the director is will announce, they have their production schedule ready, well ahead of time, and we'll announce auditions. That'll go out on our Facebook page. Like, for instance, my, Dial In for Murder auditions are July 17th and 18th at Rose Center, Classroom 4. So everyone...
That was a plug in case you didn't catch that.
We will put out the audition announcement, and then hopefully have lots and lots of people come in from the community to, and then the director will make the decisions on the cast members. A lot of times those folks may have people that are associated with them that get involved. You get family members a lot of times, at least for that one show, and sometimes longer. That's a way that we get a lot of the folks that end up being with us for quite a while. They were involved with the show, a family member came with them, or just friends, and they said, oh, well, this is really pretty great, so we want to do more of that. The board is obviously, heavily involved, particularly when it gets down to the time of set building. That's one of my I'm the head of the set building committee, in addition to, serving as the secretary. So we have to have, kind of an all hands on deck type environment to get the set built. Because I mentioned, we do a show in Rose Center. We don't have the facility until the start of that week. Right. So we get in there on Sunday. Opening night is Friday. So we're essentially building a stage. We're building the set. We're setting up all of the light and the tech. And we have folks that are have their specialized talents in each of those areas, and we'll draw on them to do lights and sound and just kind of bring it all together. The director has a lot of responsibilities, but also a lot of support from the board and from different folks that are associated with cast members.
Okay. So I had a question and it just went right out of my head when you were saying that. Do you have different people that show up for each casting call, or do you have kind of the same folks?
We typically have different people, although there are some that are have been longtime Guild supporters and in a lot of shows, and we're obviously they're always welcome, and we like to have the folks that have been with us for a long time. It's a mix. It's like we want to bring new people in. The casting is always, for every director, dependent totally on who they think is the best for a given role. There's no like seniority or anything. So and so wants to be in the show, so they're in it. That's not it doesn't work like that. No, it's not. But yeah, we have open auditions, and we welcome new folks just as much as the ones that have been with us for years. We're very open for expansion. We need more people involved, and that's the best way, in my opinion, is to have people have that theater experience, and you tend to get hooked on it pretty quick. I know I did, so it's a really good experience for folks. Something everybody should try. I'm going to recruit you too before
I can see you keep looking at us here. So, what is the cost to attend one of your all's productions?
Adult tickets are $18. Senior tickets are $15, and student tickets are $12.
Okay.
You can get tickets through the website, which you can access that also through the Facebook page. It uses a website called On the Stage, so that takes you directly to where you can reserve tickets online, which is the very easiest and best way to do it. That way you have the seat in advance, and when you arrive at the ticket counter, we're usually greeted by me and my lovely wife Brandy, who is the chairman of the guild. We can just scan your QR code and in you go. So that's the easiest way to do it, but we can still sell tickets at the door as well as the electronic in advance.
Okay. All right. So how do you all fund your productions?
Well, we have to fundraise. We sell ads in our programs, and we seek out sponsors, and those tend to be individuals, local businesses, people that are regular supporters, and that's obviously something that we need more of, particularly with the goal in mind of trying to have a building of our own. That's one of the big things that we've tried to fund. We have fundraisers throughout the year, the biggest one being our Halloween gala, and that's I think again this year at Prater Hall and Rose Center, 21st of October. It's like a week before the Halloween weekend, and that's usually a very big fundraiser for us. We do our film festival, 24-hour film festival, which is a very interesting thing, and we like to get more and more people involved in that. It's not as big a fundraiser as the gala, but it is something that we enjoy putting on, and we're able to get more people involved in the community through that. But the biggest support that we can gain is just from sponsorship and ad sales from the community. So we're always trying to do that. I'm trying to raise as many funds as I can for Dial M in particular, and then overall for the entire guild season. So what we hope to do is have a show funded completely through those contributions prior to it opening. So you're not really reliant on your ticket sales to be what supports your show.
Right.
And most of the shows have a total budgets run $5,000 to $7,000. It depends on what type of show it is, how new it is. If musicals tend to be more, because there's more involved in that with the rights to everything. But that's sort of what we face, and we've done better with some shows than others with the fundraising. We have a lot of folks on our board that are artistically minded, which is good, but then it's also there's a place for the more business minded, and that's also the sort of people that we'd like to recruit to be part of what the guild is doing and part of supporting our mission. Local business people that want to be involved in local theater and move that forward. We can use that mindset. We can use more of those types of people. So if they're listening to me, hopefully they will feel that urge to help us carry on not only our 90th season, but well beyond that, where we want to keep this thing going and continuing to do a lot of good for Morristown.
Okay. And that makes total sense what you're saying, because like some people are mathematically minded, some people are business minded, and some people are artistic, like you're talking about. Usually you're not going to get that in the same person. So
that's true.
You got to have people who know how to market, raise the funds to help y'all continue. So what's the best way that we can support the Theater Guild? Like if we want to become a donor or we want to sponsor, how can people do that?
Okay. You can contact the Guild directly, our webpage or the Facebook page. You can also call, you want me to give you a phone number?
You can give them a phone number,
sure. 423-736-8845 is not the Guild's number. That I just gave out my wife's telephone number. She is the chairman, and if you're calling to contribute, she'll be more than happy to take your call and accept that donation. We have sort of a schedule of sponsorship that different levels that have various benefits to them. But we're open to donations, obviously, of any size. The thing you said first, what's the best thing that any of you could do to support the Guild? Come to our shows, fill the seats, come and see what we're doing, and you're going to be pleased and you're going to be entertained. And playing to a packed house gets the people on stage excited about what they're doing.
I bet.
It gets the
excuse me,
the patrons, the folks that are watching, that they get a good experience out of it, and some of them may decide they want to be involved to a greater extent, hands-on, or contribute more. It's just the more people that we can have see what we do, the better off we're going to be. And then because we always we have a little bit of struggle, and I think it kind of it goes hand in hand with the fundraising thing, getting the word out, getting good publicity for the first weekend of shows. So we'll have a show play one weekend to kind of maybe not the greatest crowds. Then a week later, after the word of mouth, after the first set of folks have seen the show, then we're filling the place up the second weekend. Our product, what we're putting on the stage, is very good, and people always enjoy it. Our crowds have a great time. It's just a matter of making sure that people know that the Theater Guild is alive and well, and that we're putting good entertainment on the stage, and you need to come out and see that, and everything's going to kind of snowball in a good way from there.
Good deal. I don't know that I've ever been to a production, so I need to put that on my schedule.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Excuse me. All right, so our last question is one that we ask everybody that comes on here. And that is, if you could go back in time and give your 20-year-old self one piece of advice, what would that be?
Meet Brandy sooner.
Well, that is very sweet.
And that is another part of, and it's like, that answer doesn't have anything to do with the Theater Guild, but it does.
Well, you don't have to answer in accordance with what you're...
But it, in a way, that's how we met. So, we were both on the board and working together with the Guild before we actually, got together and our romance started. We did a show, Flowers for Algernon, in March of 2020, right before COVID and everything, shut down. And that's still one of my favorite experiences, to be able to do that with her and all the experiences that we've had together since then. And now she's, chairman leading the organization. But just in general, beyond the guild, obviously, I would have much rather found my way to her sooner than I did, and that probably would have meant being. Both would have probably liked to have been associated with the guild earlier than we were. But yeah, that's been the major. She's been the major influence in my life that has been the most positive. So that's an easy one.
Well, that's awesome. Nobody gave us that answer either, so I just think that's super sweet. So you definitely earned brownie points with that answer.
And make up for giving her phone number out.
There you go.
Facebook
Made
Live.
up for the phone number. All right. So anything else that you want to tell us about the Theater Guild?
I just, I hope everybody will come and see our shows, come support us, see what it's all about. All of our shows are at Rose Center this year, and we're excited to continue moving forward, and we want to bring more people along with us. So.
And you said your next opening night is June 16th.
June 16th, the God of Carnage.
Okay, good deal. All right, so Kim's not here, but she did send me to let me know what the rates are. So right now, rates are trickling down. Last week, we were right at about the 7% range, and now we're down to about 6.75. THDA rates are around 5.75. So if we can get this whole debt ceiling crisis thing worked out and, taken care of, I think you're going to see a steady decline in rates. But until that happens, we're kind of stuck in these high sixes right now. Today is the last day of May, if I'm correct on that. Okay. I have to double check with people because I have been so covered up. I don't know what day of the week it is half the time. But today's the last day of May. So next week we will have our May market report. We'll let you know how many homes sold in the area, what the average sales price is, and how things are moving on that front. So thanks so much for watching. Again, I'm Amy Schrader with RE/MAX Real Estate 10. Make sure you check out the Theater Guild on Facebook and go see their show on the 16th.